Right now, on your mobile device, this is Fox Montana, local news at 9, where a new leader is emerging.
But to have those resources, they can graduate just along with their peers so they're not set back.
College students stress the need of keeping college affordable, and tonight the governor may have good news for them. Good evening and welcome to the Fox Montana News at 9. I'm David Winter. Angela has the night off. We'll have more on that story in just a moment, but first, this just in. 4 teens are found safe in Lewis and Clark County by the Sheriff's Department. The boys went missing last night from the Georgetown Lake area after authorities say one of the teens threatened suicide. Although first reports said the boys might be headed to Idaho, they were actually staying in a parent's cabin near the Canyon Ferry Reservoir. Butte Silverbow Dispatch confirms that they were located about 7 this evening, largely thanks to people calling in with helpful tips. Well, in tonight's other top story, Montana State University students share stories in financial hardship and debt during a visit with Governor Bullock this afternoon. ABC Fox Montana's Rachel Aragon joins us now live from MSU for an in-depth look at the governor's proposal to freeze college tuition and help students graduate debt-free. Rachel?
David, during today's visit, Governor Bullock made very clear that his top priority for higher education this year is freezing college tuition. And many students I talked with today said they are definitely on board with the idea.
As well as the tuition freeze are going to really help students just like myself be able to graduate in 4 years and be successful.
MSU senior Jordan Garceau is studying sociology, and she says she's grateful to be graduating in 4 years this May, but says that's not the case for other in-staters.
I've had a number of students who, they haven't dropped out in a sense, but they've taken a year off because they needed to work or they needed to get residency in order to be able to afford it. And it's not because they don't have supportive families, it's because the money personally is not there for them.
Governor Bullock's 2015 budget proposes a 2-year tuition freeze for in-state students, which would require the state legislature to increase funding for the Montana University system by $44 million, the amount needed to halt current tuition rates for all in-staters for 2 more years.
Hearing the students say that at the end of the day, one might have even dropped out because of issues of affordability. We can't lose any student as a result.
The Montana University system reports progress, with retention rate at 4-year colleges spilling over 75% in the last decade. But the governor would like to see that number increase. He says the freeze is a long-term investment that may cost more money up front, but ultimately pays off for thousands of families.
A very good investment to make in freezing college tuition, because when tuition increases, that's essentially a tax on 40,000 working families all across our state.
Tuition at Montana's 4-year universities have been frozen for the past 8 of the 10 years. And for colleges, for 2-year colleges here in the state, they've been frozen for the past 10 years in a row. Reporting live in Bozeman, I'm Rachel Aragon, ABC Fox Montana.
Thanks, Rachel. The state legislature has until April 29th to approve the proposed 2-year tuition freeze, which is part of the state budget. Well, taking a closer look at tuition tonight, tuition for Montana colleges and universities has doubled in the past 15 years. Flathead Valley Community College cost about $1,750 in 2000. This year, it's about $3,800 for a year's tuition. City College at MSU Billings went from $2,500 per year in 2000 to nearly $3,800 this year. There's also been a dramatic increase for 4-year universities in Montana. In 2000, a full year at MSU would have cost you about $3,100. This year, tuition is $6,800 for a year. At in Missoula, it was also $3,100 a year in 2000. This year, cost students $6,100. Well, still to come, the unemployment rate is dropping, but where are the best places to get jobs? That answer is in about 60 seconds. But first, here's Dave Cochran with your Fox First forecast. Dave?
Hey, David, good evening. National Weather Service just put out a winter weather advisory. You can see it over here in the weather computer. And it's south of Missoula and south of the Bitterroot Valley, right on the state line there with Idaho. and zoom in just a little bit. This is going to be for what we were telling you about earlier on the ABC Montana News at 5:30, right around Lost Trail Pass. The possibility that we could see a little bit of freezing rain out there, and here's kind of what started it all. You can see on Montana Doppler radar a little bit of snow here to the south. Mostly it's staying to the south of Montana and heading on over into West Yellowstone, but a couple of scattered snow flurries, particularly to the south of Hamilton and Darby. I'm also going to grab this thing and move it right over here. You can see Dillon's kind of right on the line too. So we'll keep an eye on Montana Doppler radar for you tonight and tell you more about the temperatures in the next few days. That's coming your way in a few minutes. Right now, back to David.
Thanks, Dave. Well, the latest numbers show Montana falls below the national jobless rate. Most counties posted a decline in unemployment in 2014, but not everyone is racking in the money. ABC Fox Montana's Parker Collins joins us now live in the Missoula newsroom to show us where you can find the most jobs and the fewest jobs. Parker?
David, at the top of the governor's list with the lowest unemployment rate is Fallon County. They actually had an unemployment rate of 1.7%. Now, at the bottom of the list with the highest unemployment rate is Lincoln County in northwest Montana. They have about 11.5% unemployment rate. However, this rate is actually much improved. Over the course of 2014, it shrunk by about 4 percentage points. Missoula County came in about the middle of the pack at 4%. The Missoula Job Service has a database with 600 to 700 jobs listed, and 3 industries have really emerged in terms of hiring in Missoula County.
There's a lot of activity in construction and in healthcare. Transportation is another one, and we're seeing an influx of a couple of companies that are looking for skilled trades.
Last month, Montana's jobless rate fell by 1/10 of a point, setting the statewide average at 4.2%. Now, according to the governor's numbers, 2014 added about 12,000 jobs to Big Sky Country. Now, coming up on the ABC Montana News at 10, hear from somebody who's not too pleased with these numbers. Until then, back to you.
Well, tonight in a developing story, the investigation begins into 2 recent fires in northwestern Montana. According to law enforcement, on January 18th, a structure in Olney was damaged by fire. Then 6 days later, a home in Eureka was destroyed by a fire. Friends of the victims say that the same man was living at both the Olney and the Eureka residences when the fires occurred. Deputy Fire Marshal Don Drollinger says it's too early in the investigation to determine the cause of either fire. Butte Airport leaders hope to see a spike in boardings as they move forward with a multi-million-dollar expansion plan. Airport officials say plans to increase the terminal square footage by almost double will cost $5 to $6 million. Airport management says it hopes to increase boardings so Delta SkyWest, the airport's only carrier, will offer more flying options in and out of Butte. Boardings increased 43% from 2012 to 2013, plus another 3.5% in 2014. The airport expects to break ground on the renovations by spring of 2016. Well, the Missoula Fairgrounds embarks on a redesign with the Extension Office. Fairgrounds Director Todd Garrett says $50,000 from the county went to hiring a consulting firm. The market analysis they're now preparing will shape the design plan, which should be ready in time for the fair in August. That plan will lay out where the new Extension Office and the new maintenance building will be.
As the cliche goes, if you build it, they will come. Once we redesign the fairgrounds, it's going to better serve the public and our annual fair event.
They've already had several public meetings for input. If you want to give input on what you'd like to see at the fairgrounds, look for the story on our website, abcfoxmontana.com. And Dave Cochran's here with our first weather.
And we've got some warmer than normal temperatures for the past few days. Tomorrow is no exception as you look at the temperature chart there for the highs Wednesday. Thing is, we're not going to be in record territory, just above normal. I'm back with another look at Montana Doppler radar coming up next.
Tracking the weather for Western Montana, Fox Montana is the weather authority.
Good evening from the Fox Montana Weather Center. Been watching Montana Doppler radar all night just to check out how far north some of these snow flurries and rain showers will go. There is actually in the forecast for Butte, a little bit for Bozeman, a chance of some rain mixed with snow tonight. Really not expecting much in Kalispell, Whitefish, and the Flathead Valley or North Missoula here, but you start to get down here into the Bitterroot Valley, a little bit of light rain moving into Hamilton, maybe a few snow flurries on top of the mountains here. I'm not really expecting it on Lolo Pass, but Lost Trail Pass is where we could see a little bit of ice forming. So I've been watching the passes all night. This is a little bit of the melt, snow melt that we've had up on Lolo Pass, and that's pretty much what we've seen throughout the week. And I've been watching all night long to see if we're going to see any snow flurries or any of the ice starting to form on Lost Trail Pass. We'll check it again for you tonight at 10 p.m. Our highs today made it up to 37 in Missoula, 29 in Kalispell. Butte made it up to 50 degrees today, 44 in Bozeman, 55 in Dillon, where, by the way, I think they set a record high temperature in Dillon today. 21's current temperature in Kalispell, 32 in Missoula, 31 in Butte, 36 in Bozeman, 43 in Dillon. We step out of the way and show you those clouds just rolling over the valley in Butte today, and you can also see some of the clouds here rolling over Missoula, and then they kind of change direction just a little bit on us. We also saw a little bit of that change in direction in Hamilton. Not very windy as we look up north through the Bitterroot Valley Cam. A couple of big whirlpools of clouds out in the Pacific. That's going to sling a little bit of moisture in our general direction, kind of typical for this time of year. Clouds also in parts of Montana too, and mostly out of this weather system we've got now. Could see some snow in West Yellowstone, parts of Idaho, and extreme southern Montana. As I put the 5-day snowfall model into motion, we really don't see any action out of this until Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Yeah, I've got a small weather system coming into the area, so that could mean a few fresh flakes for us on the ski slopes for the weekend. Tell you more about that as we get to the 7-day forecast in just a minute.
You're watching Fox Montana Local News at 9, where a new leader is emerging.
The Republican House caucus today convened to discuss a list of priority bills it wants to see pass. Its 4-part action plan looks to strengthen jobs in the economy, safeguard health care options, protect rights and individual freedoms, and put students and parents first. In the state minority meeting, making families and communities stronger was the leading message, emphasizing a push for the Build Montana Infrastructure Program and early education. Gun laws kept the House Judiciary Committee busy this morning. A proposed gun bill would prohibit enforcement of some federal weapons bans. Opponents argue the bill poses a problem when it comes to enforcement because it interferes with federal and local officials working together. Supporters of the bill argue that the state can make its own laws despite the federal government. The committee heard another bill that proposed the use of sound reduction devices for guns when hunting wildlife that's not protected by the state or federal government. Another topic of discussion for legislators today, the increase in penalties for not wearing a seatbelt. If Senate Bill 165 gets passed, the penalty might raise from $20 to $100. Supporters say the bill does not change the seatbelt offense from secondary to primary. It simply increases the fee for an existing offense. The Butte Silverbow Planning Department is looking for community input concerning restrictions for pre-1976 mobile home placement. The matter before the Planning Department is whether placement of pre-1976 mobile homes should be allowed in areas not specifically zoned for mobile homes, or if the new placement should be allowed at all. Those who already own a pre-1976 mobile home are grandfathered in, but if some sort of disaster were to happen, for instance, the debate is, should they be required to rebuild or replace their mobile home at 1994 standards or higher?
So not that I don't think that the safety issues are there. Like I said, I would love to be in a brand new home. That would be, you know, a gift that I would only dream of giving my son. Yeah. But it's not something I can do.
The Planning Department says all of this discussion has to do with safety and affordability, not appearance. Well, in tonight's Health Alert, for the first time in 40 years, Providence St. Patrick Hospital returns to the baby business. Construction is underway for a new OB unit at St. Patrick Hospital. St. Patrick officials say the new unit has been in the works for 6 to 8 months with their partner obstetricians at the Western Montana Clinic. The unit will feature a 7-bed labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum suite. The unit was first built in 2006, but the CEO decided it was not the right time to open it.
The last baby we delivered was in May 16th of 1975, and we've decided to get back again into delivering babies so that we can be a full-service hospital, provide choice, and be an effective leader in population health.
Construction of the unit is scheduled to be complete in June of 2015. The first babies are expected to be delivered in the unit by August. Community Medical Center looks for members for a new board that will decide how the proceeds from the hospital sale are reinvested into the community. The Community Hospital Legacy Foundation already has 3 members but needs 6 more. This comes after CMC and its assets were sold to a for-profit partnership between Billings Clinic and Regional Care Hospital Partners. The consultant on the project, Stan Mosier, says board members will have some big decisions on their shoulders.
That's $3.5 million a year that will be distributed to Western Montana to assist with health care. So that's a lot of money and I think really important to this community.
Anyone who is interested needs to submit a resume and letter of interest by February 16th. For a list of qualifications for the candidates that the candidates must have, head to abcfoxmontana.com. The local restaurants are gearing up for Super Bowl Sunday and preparing a whole lot of food. Buffalo Wild Wings in Billings will make more than 10,000 wings during the Super Bowl Sunday, according to the manager there. Americans will consume enough beer to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool 2,000 times, according to SaveOnBrew.com. Darren McCandless at Billings Buffalo Wild Wings says it's a crazy day to work in the service industry.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's just a lot of nonstop fun. It really is, you know. And these guys are kind of like a second family, so we're all just really ready to help each other out and, you know, bust around and get some stuff done.
McCandless says if you plan on going to Wild Wings or another eating establishment for the game, you should arrive hours early if you expect a seat. You know, I have to look at this. Hold on. It says Americans will consume enough beer to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool 2,000 times.
Sounds about right. I'd believe it. I'd believe it. But that's
and you're working that day, so you're not even. Maybe that'll take.
Maybe by the fourth quarter. Well, maybe by the fourth quarter I'll go get some wings. But yeah, that's brutal. I'm starving now. I gotta go get some food after the show. Either way.
Thirsty.
Yeah, well, either way, we talked about the food. You might also be aware there's a little football game going on called the Super Bowl as well. Yeah, so in that Super Bowl, there is a bit of a local tie. Former Bozeman High and University of Montana standout Brock Coyle will be playing in the biggest football game in the world. We'll have a one-on-one interview with Brock right up after the break.
Fox Montana Sports with Dominic Sheldon.
Today was Media Day for the Super Bowl, which provides plenty of wacky interviews as it seems just about anybody can get a press pass. For something a little more serious, though, our Sam Adams caught up with former Montana linebacker and Bozeman native Brock Coyle.
All right, folks, we're here with the pride of Montana, Brock Coyle. How we doing? How are you enjoying this?
Man, this is great. I have enjoying this whole experience. It's amazing.
Well, first things first, as far as just the atmosphere and all that, are you soaking it all in? I mean, I guess where you're at, I mean, is this something where you want to sit back and enjoy it, or are you focusing on the game?
Oh, I mean, you got to enjoy all this whole experience. So, you know, I got my GoPro here, hands-free, just enjoying the whole thing. You know, this is could be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You just got to try and soak it all in, and then, but at the same time, it is a business trip. So after this, it's going to be all focus.
Tell me about the GoPro. It's recording our interview right now. I see. Hi. So what's going on? What's the weirdest thing this GoPro has seen so far?
My goodness, it's seen a lot. It's seen some fat guy in a barrel.
I saw that.
It's seen some guy with like 10 GoPros. He's shirtless with shoulder pads and a helmet. 10 GoPros all over. It's amazing, man. So some of the questions they ask too is some head scratchers, but it's all right.
Tell me about this team you play for. How proud you are to be a part of this Seahawk team.
Truly, I mean, I'm very proud to be associated with this organization, to be a part of this team. It's been a great year for me. To be a rookie playing for the Seahawks and now being in the Super Bowl, it's a blessing. So I just feel very fortunate to be a part of this team.
How about some Big Sky perspective? You know, you come from Big Sky country. What does this mean to a guy from Montana and doing the things you're doing?
I mean, it just shows, you know, anyone, it's hard work pays off. You know, I've worked very hard to be in the position I am now. It feels very good to be, very rewarding to be here now and just reflect on all the hard work I've put in to be here. So it's awesome. It's a blessing. And again, a lot of hard work.
hate to put you on the spot, but can we get some kind of prediction on an outcome for Super Bowl Sunday?
I just know we're going to play hard. That's all I know.
Well said. A young guy talking like a veteran. Best of luck Sunday.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, back to you guys in the studio.
2015 has not gotten off to the greatest of all starts for the Montana State women's basketball team. Since the 1st of January, the Bobcats have won just a single game. Tonight, Rob Jesselson finds out what the Cats need to do in order to get back into the win column.
The Bobcats women's basketball team has fallen on tough times. In their last 8 games, Montana State has lost 7, including their last 3 straight.
We've been pretty much in every game, and we've had some opportunities to gain control of the game and finding ways just to lose focus on the details and what it takes to keep that game clean.
Something the Cats say they're working on is mental toughness and staying positive in tough situations late in games.
It's all self-talk. You got to tell yourself positive things. You can never let negative things come into your mind, and you always just got to keep on just lifting your teammates up and not focusing on yourself, and that can keep you mentally strong.
You know, this week I think from a coaching perspective, just keeping it a little bit simpler, getting back to those kind of details and basics, I think that'll really help.
Next up for the Cats is a home game against Sacramento State. The Hornets are riding a 7-game win streak and sit on top of the Big Sky standings.
You know, from a challenging standpoint, they're going to run and gun for 40 minutes and pressure you and press in the backcourt. So you need to be on all cylinders as far as having fresh legs out there with the discipline and the fundamentals to execute and get the ball into the front court.
In Bozeman, Rob Jesselson, ABC Fox Montana Sports.
That is it for sports. We'll be back after this.
Well, finally tonight, a Bozeman nonprofit is rolling into underdeveloped countries to give kids wheelchairs. Wayne Hansen and his wife Leanne created Reach Out and Care Wheels several years back. They've been on a mission ever since to provide children around the world with an easy-to-use wheelchair. Along with the chair being equipped to go off-road, the wheelchair is also highly adjustable to ensure just that perfect fit. With the recent funding from the Gianforti family, Rock Wheels has a busy couple of months ahead. A trip to Mexico where a team of 14 will distribute 60 rocket chairs, and then a stop in Argentina with 100 chairs. It's estimated that 70 million people in developing countries need wheelchairs, with more than 6 million of them being kids. That's a nice family.
Yeah,
very nice story,
cool
rather.
Stuff there, and they look pretty heavy duty too. It was going over some of the icy tundra.
Yeah,
quite
probably
well.
not a lot of icy tundra down in Mexico and South America,
probably
but
the point.
probably a lot of dirt and rocks. Hey, you know, Brock Coyle, that was a cool story. Really neat that the local boy done good.
You know, it doesn't get much better than that. Undrafted out of Montana this past year, gets on as a free agent, makes the team, going to the Super Bowl, and come Monday, he might be the owner of a brand new Super Bowl ring. So very, very cool.
Very cool.
We wish Brock best of luck.
And some great GoPro video, too.
Hopefully we can get our hands on that. That'd be
That'd be kind of
fantastic
cool to see that
absolutely.
GoPro. Yeah, we like that here at ABC Fox.
And a winter weather advisory?
Mostly for, I'm thinking Lost Trail Pass. I'm going to show you Montana Doppler radar in just a few minutes. We'll tell you more about that on ABC Montana News at 10.
Great. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a bit.